Have you ever wondered how your favorite YouTubers or streamers can hit Unreal so quickly? Like, you watch one video and they're in gold, and then the following video the next day, they've done some offline grinding and are already in Unreal. Well, I'm bringing that offline grinding session to light. I'm exposing these creators' secrets. Whoa, not that one, but some of these ones. And I've cut up almost every single important kill, so this is 40 minutes of just highlights. Literally zero downtime in this video. So as of right now, I'm putting on my yapping pants so I can talk you through my mindset during these fights, what I was thinking, and generally give you the best tips, tricks, and play styles to get through each rank. And obviously I'm starting in the lower rank since I haven't played much this season, but I recommend you watch every rank no matter which one you are in, because I'll switch up what tips I'm giving in each one. I'll give them where I think they apply the best, and I might drop a hidden gem in the platinum or diamond part that might help you get out of elite or champion. Because I'll talk more about the fighting and mechanical tips when I'm dropping these 20 bombs in the lower ranks, and then I'll transition it more to strategy and game plan tips in the higher ranks. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be showing you this Plat 2 gameplay right here. I know this was a very strong kill win with a ton of them. I already 4 so far, and if you haven't noticed so far, that first part of the video was scripted. I put a lot of effort into editing all of that, but now I'm going to be just going off of the dome. I'm going to be reflecting and reacting to every kill that I get. I, of course, have already edited and chopped this all up, so I sort of know what's going to happen, but because it is 40 minutes of just straight gameplay, I'm not going to remember every single thing off rip, but I'm going to be talking you through everything that I see, what I remember happening, how I got these kills, and then, of course, tips for the arena, or I guess arena is a long time ago, tips for the rank and just how I moved through this. So I do remember right here in this game, this fight actually turned into the longest fight I ever had in Platinum, because I was fighting 2 people, I was just coming back from my break, and I wasn't really comfortable playing the game how I'm used to, because I wasn't used to playing it since I took a break. Right. Okay, so there's 2 people on me. There's this anime skin and this other skin, and I just keep getting fried. I know I have the ability to kill one of them, which I did right there, but doing 2 at a time, I wasn't sure if I actually was able to complete that fight and get both of the kills, but I turned out actually fighting them both very strongly and getting both of the kills, which made me confident for the rest of the match. So those guys were pretty good. They weren't anything special, but just fighting 2 of them at the same time was actually pretty difficult. So now we're moving on to the next fight. I have 7 kills so far, and I got a nice fry on this guy, and I'm actually able to clean him up right there, but there's a ton of people around me. There's this default skin with the Jordans on, which I do get, but now I'm chasing down this other guy who I was actually originally shooting at. And right here, I'm not playing that good. I don't know why I didn't cone his head to the side there, but I just made some, door wall edit on him, and I am able to kill this guy since he is just in diamond. It was pretty easy, but I know early on in Platinum, I was facing a lot of errors. Like, I wasn't coning where I should cone or walling where I should wall. I was getting stuck on edits, and I was just running into a lot of errors because I took a long break from the game, which like I mentioned in a couple of my other videos and earlier in this one, I took a break for the holidays, and I was finally coming back, and these Platinum 2 lobbies were the first ones that I was actually playing in. Of course, I have some good muscle memory, so I was able to get, a couple high kill games and move out of it pretty quickly, but I was still making a lot of errors. With that being said, I was doing a lot of things good, and I was doing a lot of things good because I wasn't stressed out about these lobbies. Even though there's a ton of people around me, I'm losing health left and right, I'm actually not scared, or I'm not worried. I'm not facing any sort of stress because I know these lobbies aren't what I'm gonna get stuck in, right? I'm eventually gonna get out of them, so I'm okay with just doing these W keys, with doing these idiotic things and W keys and just jumping into people's boxes, because I know I'm probably not going to go down to a lot of these guys, which was the case. Even though I'm getting absolutely shredded and beamed, there's just so much going for me at this time that I knew I wasn't going to get stuck in these lobbies, so I was confident doing some pretty stupid stuff. And I say stupid, but when I say stupid stuff, I mean really important aggression techniques that you should be learning. Aggression is one of the most important skills in Fortnite, and without aggression, you can't really play the game too well. You're just constantly going to be on your back foot. You're constantly going to be playing defense, and if someone else does the aggressive plays where they phase in or something like that, you're not going to be able to defend much longer, and you will go down and die. There's this famous quote, I forget who it's by, but the best defense is more offense. So if you're constantly, jumping in other people's boxes and being the one being aggressive, then no one can jump in your box because you're not boxing up. You're the one going into other people's boxes. So that was kind of the mindset I tried to have in these early ranks, and it worked out pretty well. So back to reflect on what's going on in the game right now. It's a 1v1. I'm losing a lot of health. I have 16 kills, and there's one more person below me. So he actually void masks above me while I drop down, and the reason I gave up height is because if I got shot out at all, I wouldn't have been able to survive that, since I didn't have a lot of white health. So I just went up a ton of percent there. I think that said 99%, a lot of percent there with the first victory royale on the day, and now we're moving on into Platinum 3. So Platinum 3 had a lot of similar, attributes and play styles for me that Platinum 2 had, but this one I felt like I didn't have as many mistakes. Because I had a little bit more practice throughout Platinum 2, I was a bit more in tune with the game. My muscle memory was coming back a little bit more, and I wasn't making as many stupid mistakes, and I was more focused on how I was actually playing the game. In Platinum 2, I was jumping into every single box possible. In Platinum 3, I was looking more at which boxes were optimal for jumping in, and which players were weak beforehand, and which players I had the advantage of. So I was playing a lot more methodically. For example, this was one of the times where I actually got really weak. I got beamed by a bunch of different parties, and I was being seen a lot. So I fake this guy out with my void mask. He hops into his car, drives away, and I go back for that med kit, heal up, then I go back for revenge, beam this guy, and get the kill. So it was still very easy, just a simple process of how I did those things, but it's important that I did do them instead of just blindly pushing that guy with arrogance instead of confidence. Because I healed up, I found that med kit, I had confidence in the fight. If I didn't, and I was just pushing that guy blindly because I think I'm quote unquote better, then that's a lot more arrogant, and I probably would have died. So all of these circumstances, you'll notice I have pretty good health. I'm 100 here, and just frying guys across the map. It's still pretty easy. I'm in Platinum 3, but focusing a lot more on my actual fighting skills and getting used to it a lot more and making fewer mistakes. You'll also notice there's a lot more build fights around. So people are still kind of hiding at the bottom of these and at the top of these, and I'm still running around, trying to find as many people as possible, but you'll notice there are a lot of people still doing that. For example, this guy's running right here. He has the blade, and the only reason I'm fully pursuing this guy and continuing to fry him even though I have low health is because he's running. I know if you are running from a fight, then you're probably not confident in your abilities and mechanical skills to actually engage in that, so I know my skill is probably a little bit better than yours. However, if someone instantly tries to build fight me and I have low health, then I might actually back off and run a little bit myself, or reposition, maybe get a shot to weaken the guy, and then figure out what to do from there. But I'm being super methodical in all of these. I'm only doing that double edit drop onto that guy's face because I have 200 health and insane loot, which I didn't even point out earlier. Look at my loot, that is nuts. I have the gold pump, the mythic AR, and the mythic void mask. That's nuts. Oh, and I'm only running one med right now. I'm only running minis, so I also have the sword to chase people down. But right here, I actually do remember this guy I was chasing down. He wasn't necessarily good, but he was very good at running and kept on escaping from me. And because of this, I just decided to engage on another party. I think there's like about 3 or 4 people left. So once I'm engaging on this other party, that's when everyone started, shooting at me. The guy I was chasing started shooting at me as well instead of running. And then I just got boxed up and died to the Typhoon Blade, but still went up a lot of percent with 11 kills. Was at 83%. And now we're on to Diamond 1. Okay, so I don't have too many clips from Diamond 1, but I do have the best in-game full box of my life. This is the most exaggerated full box like I've ever done. This guy's literally like a layer and a half up. I get the 2 cones, jump up, get the 2 walls behind him, make a jump shot, like headshot on that guy to get the kill. Absolutely stellar. If you want to practice full boxes, just study that clip, learn how to get both cones above and below, and then those walls. I'm already into endgame here. Like I said, I didn't have too many clips from Diamond 1, but just another victory royale to send me, 7 elims and a lot of percent. What is this going to be? 76%, and now we're already into Diamond 2. So I switched up the drop. I'm landing at Warrior's Watch right now, just frying everyone. Like I said, I hadn't played the game in a while, so I was just trying to go to pretty much every drop spot possible and follow bus path. So I don't have a drop spot that I'm going to like every time yet. I'm still like just landing everywhere across the map and getting kills when I can. Primarily trying to land at the interior of the map so I don't have to rotate too far for most zones, hence this Warrior Watch landing, but just looking for a lot of kills, not being too stressed out about where I'm landing, and if I'm dying off spawn, I'm not really worried about dying off spawn yet and losing percentage. So I'm still just going around fragging people. Even this guy with the boss right there, I absolutely hate fighting the boss, so after getting that kill, I moved on, drove around, and then I think this guy killed the boss, and I came back to kill him since I heard the shooting. Accidentally jumped off here. Wasn't used to that blade since I was holding 2 blades in my inventory. And I actually got hit pretty weak here, and the one thing I did there is faked popping a mini. That guy instantly pushed me, and I shot him in the face, which a lot of people are actually kind of afraid to do, which I've noticed once playing creative 1v1s and realistic 1v1s. If you're getting super weak and someone is aggressively pushing you, you don't have to pop minis. You don't have to heal up. If someone is in your face, you can shoot them, and a lot of times that will get them to back off so you can later mini and heal up, or you'll just straight up kill them. So now I'm moving on into endgame here. This guy was actually pretty good. That is the one thing I will say about this. They have good peaks, but they still make greedy mistakes. So that guy just opened up the wall after damaging me, and my gun was right on his face, my crosshair was right on his head, and I got the kill. So this lobby was when I started to realize that people are actually pretty good and can fight me and can hit huge shots on me, but they're going to make greedy mistakes. So if you're in Diamond 1, really just all of the Diamond ranks, Diamond 1 through 3, look for the greedy mistakes because they will absolutely happen. Actually, am I in Diamond 2 right now? I already forgot. It doesn't really matter. They're all kind of the same. In the Diamond lobbies, you'll notice people making greedy mistakes, even if you get hit hard. And that's another win right here, which, I was in Diamond 2, which moves me up into Diamond 3 with 75% and 12 kill win. So in Diamond 3, I'm in endgame right now, and endgames are actually getting somewhat active. So obviously not as active as the later ranks, but this is the first time where I was actually noticing the storms were closing a lot more, even though it is just a 1v1 right now. We went till zone 10 or 11, I believe. Maybe not that far, but we went pretty far into zones, and we're build fighting throughout this whole thing, which I actually realized once I'm in a 1v1 scenario, I treat it really weird. Like, I don't treat it like a real game, but I also don't treat it like creative and like in free building or whatever. I just played this really weird, and I really need to figure that out, why I didn't clean this up earlier. But I was able to just get this nice edit around while he was running, and I killed him. So I actually moved back up into Diamond 3 right there, which I do want to mention because I dropped out of Diamond 3. Believe it or not, yes, even me, Reid the Ninja, the YouTuber, can drop out of rank. So I remember I was getting super active in early games and dying a lot, and I actually did drop out of Diamond 3, like I said. But again, I'm not worried about dropping out of these ranks because I know I'm not going to get stuck in them, right? Even if I pursue everything exactly how I had been doing it, eventually I'm going to get, a bunch of kills and get a win, and I'm going to move straight out of Diamond 3. So I wasn't really stressed out that I had dropped out of it and had to move back up into it. It's okay to do that, and that's what I want to recommend to anyone who's worried about their rank is don't really treat it like ranked, right? Like, don't worry about your rank so much. You can jump into people's boxes still, like I just did right on that guy with the sexy skin in the Jordans. Like, you can jump in on these people, you can die early, you can lose percent, but as long as you keep moving, you're gonna be fine. You're probably not gonna get stuck there unless you're doing that stuff in like champion. But if you're doing that in diamond, you're fine. Keep doing it. You're eventually going to move up and out of there. So I think I blew up this guy's car and he got weak, and I started pursuing him, got him super weak, killed him, went to loot his body, and then there was a dude with a railgun that kept on trying to shoot me. He beamed me, and this is actually a very stressful spot to be in. And one of the mistakes that I actually do make a lot in this rank is I tunnel vision on getting one kill too soon, one kill too much. So that guy hit me with the railgun, which did a lot of damage to me, but I didn't think he was that good. So I'm still tunnel visioning on this guy because, I know he's good aim because he hit the railgun shot on me, but, he wasn't trying to build on me with mechanics and trying to box me. So I knew if it came down to a box fight or a build fight, I could kill him, but I didn't have health. Zone came up behind me, and then it wasn't up to a box or build fight, and I died to zone. It did eventually move me up into elite, but that was one of the big mistakes I noticed from diamond. So once I got into elite, it started getting pretty challenging. I started playing it like it was just, diamond, platinum, or whatever. I was still going pretty hard, being very aggressive, shooting at everyone I came across, but a lot of these fights turned out that I needed to play more passively, needed to escape a little bit more, needed to go back and heal, go for more damage shots from afar like I'm doing right now. In this fight, I believe I was fighting one person, a third party snuck up, I backed out, and then once that third party dealt with the second party, I came in to finish it all up. And even though it was much harder, I didn't want to give up on myself. I didn't want to give up on the aggression that I had throughout the other couple ranks because it was working really well. However, since I was being this aggressive on people that were way better, sometimes it did end up in a lot more deaths, like you just saw there. But I didn't stop there. I didn't let that discourage me, and I kept up the aggression, which I'm very glad I did because it led to a lot more satisfying kills on a lot higher skilled players. So, of course, there are still a couple diamond people in these lobbies, but the majority of the kills are on elite players, some champion players. There might even be some unreal players snuck in here, I'm not entirely sure. But these lobbies are really about trusting your aim more than any time else. Earlier, I could really just get aggressive on anyone that I wanted, but here, you really need to kind of lay back, get your damage in so you have a little bit of an advantage, and then go from there if you want to be aggressive. However, if you're dealt with first, if you take damage first, you're in the disadvantage. You have to play a lot more methodically and on defense. So this is one of those examples that I got someone super weak, and while they were running away super far, I killed them. And then this second guy, I got a huge beam on. He tried to run away, and then I was able to chase him down via the launch pad or whatever I took, and I was able to find him boxed up healing and kill him there again. And these are elite players. Well, that guy was a diamond player, and I got him with the car. But this next guy, I was third partying a fight and getting aggressive on this guy. Even though I did take a lot of damage, I was confident in my aim, going for those shots, and I was able to kill him. Again, another good elite player. So then this other guy started pushing me, and I really recommend this move of throwing the 3 or 4 cones above your 2 walls. It's a good way to stop their momentum from going upwards and end a build fight super quickly. Unfortunately, a third party did shoot that guy out, so I of course beamed the third party and started pushing him. However, I will say, because I'm focusing on my aim a lot, it's clear a lot of people are focusing on their aim because I get beamed 200 to 0 right there and go down very quickly. So if I remember correctly, this game I wanted to get really active. I had died a few times earlier, and I was starting to get a little bit scared that I wasn't going to be able to keep up, this play style, this ultra aggression of beaming people, jumping in boxes, leveling up quickly, getting the 20% games. So I really wanted to focus on getting kills this game. So I'd gotten a couple there, and I was chasing this guy all the way through zone to make sure that I wasn't giving up on my kills. And I know earlier I said it was a bad thing because I tunnel vision, which is definitely true, but on some of these instances it did work out, and I was able to get these kills and beef up my kill record before the game was over. So while tunnel visioning can be a bad thing, it sometimes leads to some good kills, but I did start learning to not tunnel vision as much. This is one of the kills where I had to let it go, let the game progress a little bit, and ironically I actually found this guy later in the game. He was hiding in that building, and then I beamed in and was able to kill him right there in the valley, and then proceed to endgame. So in this game, I think I really learned when to fully pursue someone when you're confident that you can get that kill, and it still might be a little tunnel vision-y, but if you're confident you can get the kill, it shouldn't run as long. You should be able to get into the zone, etc. And then I think I learned when it is fully tunnel visioning and I should actually back off and learn from it, move on, and possibly fight that guy later in the game like I did. So this is one of the instances where I actually didn't want to fight. I didn't want to tunnel vision on this guy, but he tunnel visioned on me and he got himself killed. But obviously there's no siphon in ranked, so I went down to zone. Super unfortunate, but I am happy how I played that, because if that was a tournament situation, killing that guy would have been the only option to survive there, because the siphon would have would have allowed me to, survive the 1 or 2 ticks of storm that I needed to get into the safe zone. Okay, so while I was yapping about that last one, if you didn't notice, I finally turned on a custom crosshair at this point in my ranked journey. It's this little red circle that lines up perfectly with the crosshair in the scoped AR, so it doesn't really distract you too much. It doesn't fill up the scope when you're actually aiming at someone. So I'm able to keep up my perfect aim with the AR, and I'm just able to have a red dot in the middle of my screen. So here's an example. It fills up that circle pretty perfectly, so you can still aim well. The reason I did this is I felt like when I was aiming in game, I was letting my crosshair drag a little too far off of the the center of where I wanted to aim, and that's just because it doesn't catch my eye in the periphery as much. Like when I'm aiming at someone, I'm looking at their moving body. I'm not looking at my crosshair. So if I'm looking at somebody and there's a bright red circle in the middle of my screen, I can kind of align my peripheral view with where I'm actually looking a little bit better, so I can align those shots and get more headshots, get more high critical shots, and kill these people. So that's why I did that. I don't really care about the shape or what's in the middle of my screen. For this point, I'm doing it for the purpose that I can align my peripheral view with my real view a little bit better. I know I made a video a while back on why you should use custom crosshairs, and all of the things I said in that video are completely true, but some of them don't apply as much with this little circle crosshair. Like for example, I'm using the custom crosshair and real crosshair at the same time, which kind of defeats the purpose of using a custom crosshair to get rid of the weird build icon that's like a little arrow. It just still looks shitty if I have them both turned on, but now I'm able to use the things like the sword indicators with the regular crosshair, and then the custom to aim a little bit better. And since I'm in the end game right here, now is a good time to mention the 2nd place curse and the 3rd place curse that I kept on getting in these higher ranks. For some reason, I could not get a 1st place. I just whiffed my shot at the end, get a 2nd place. Also, my elite didn't actually get to champion there, and I don't have the actual champion game. But I am in now in champion. I was 1% off, and now I'm actually in it in this footage. And this was the point of my game where I started going one specific drop spot. So I was in champion. There was a lot of champion and unreal players that I was facing, and I felt doing the whole strategy of just landing wherever I want, following bus path, landing high density populations, was making me die off spawn a lot. And of course, once you're in champion, dying off spawn will lose about 4 or 5%, and even in an entire end game, maybe with a couple kills, might only put you up 4 or 5%. So it's very quick to lose percentage and pretty hard to gain percentage in champion. So I finally chose a drop spot towards the edge of the map that got me a sword, and there's plenty of mats there, so I just started dropping there for most of my elite games. And one thing to point out is I'm in like a real end game right now. There's like 7 people. We're in moving zones. I'm using like the blade to move around. There's height, there's middle ground, there's low ground. This is a full-on end game. Sure, there's not, 25 people in Storm Surge, but this is pretty good practice for, real tournament gameplay. Of course, like I said, not Storm Surge or anything crazy like that, but it really just gets you in that mindset of knowing where your mats are, where zone is going to move, how to get refreshes at the end here, be aware of your health, and all of that. So I was getting a couple of refreshes at the end here, and these players are good. Like, these are champion players. Right here is actually a perfect example of that. I saw that zone was pulling back, so instead of moving towards zone, I stayed in that little box, popped my chug splashes until zone started pulling back, and then I was able to kind of control where I was going to go a little bit better and, regather myself. Again, just another example of how this is good tournament practice. I went for a height take right there, and then somebody took it right back for me, which is perfect because in tournaments, I don't go for height too often. So it's nice to get a little bit of low stress practice with that in games like this. Of course, I get second place, but it's good to get practice like that because I'm not doing it much in tournaments because I'm not confident with that ability. But if I can do it in lower stress situations where people are still trying and actively contesting you, then it's legitimate practice and you can get pretty good at it. So like I said, I had a little second place curse for a while, but I feel like by the end of this challenge I turned it around a lot and was going for height much more and just practicing those things that I usually wouldn't do in a tournament, just getting more confident with those capabilities. And I think I'm really confident going into the next couple cash cups that will be coming up here. So like I said, here's another end game. In tournaments, I'm kind of, not fully confident going for refreshes. I know it's a necessity to win the game, but I don't know, something about it. I'd rather just waste all my mats and then die a little higher than maybe go for the win. But now I'm going for these refreshes, I'm pushing this guy's wall. Of course I whiff plenty of shots and then get beamed in the back, but it's still just a good example of me going for, these refreshes in endgame and actually actively going for these kills for loot. Of course, there's, some zone trouble here, and I'm still getting used to how the blobs and the void mask work together, with the endgame zone ticks. But I am really happy with how these later ranks work because you can get a lot of good practice that'll be helpful for those tournament gameplays. This is one of those early games that, again, is very similar to tournament gameplays. I'm fighting an Unreal player here, and I'm actually full build fighting. Like, this is very similar to some fights that I had in the last Cash Cup. So, fought an Unreal player there, got the kill, looted up, and now there's somebody else on my back W-keying me. Because again, a lot of people W key in tournaments to get those, kill points, since eliminations are worth a little bit more. So people are on your ass in tournaments, and in ranked right here, in Unreal lobbies and champion lobbies, they are on your ass. And I'm defending myself the best I can, going for counter shots, but at some point right here, I run out of mats completely. Like, I have hard 0 mats. So I need to edit myself, through the build structure we have, sort of camp, and then I'm actually able to kill this player who he might have been, another Unreal player. So I just killed 2 Unreal players back to back, one with 0 mats to my name. So it's really good practice for learning how to do better and not die in these big tournaments. Of course, we're now in an end game. I'm going for more refreshes, getting a lot more comfortable with getting those late game kills, getting those mats back up. And I think this game was actually a turning point where I felt really confident holding height over this guy, jumping into his box late game. Of course, I'm not able to get the kill here, but look at how many shots I get on players. This guy tries to contest me for height, bam, big shot, make him back off. I think there's another one. Yeah, this guy goes for height, bam, shoot him. Again, not able to get the kill, but I still have him back off. And now I am on high ground. Again, I'm not very comfortable doing this yet, but I'm getting very good practice getting on high ground and just controlling the lobby from up here. So I'm super happy to be doing this. Unfortunately, if I finished any one of those kills, I would have had the mats to win this game, but I only got big shots on them and didn't actually kill them. So again, another third place curse. Bam, back in an endgame. That was my first kill of the game, so I'm not playing as aggressively as I was in, say, elite lobbies and diamond lobbies. I'm playing for endgame because I want to get those placement points. Again, similar to tournaments, in ranked and champion lobbies, the placement matters a lot, because if you die off spawn, you're kind of cooked. So, unreal player right there. Again, I'm on height. I'm controlling the lobby from high ground, and I'm very confident doing those things now, and I wasn't going into this. Of course, another second place. It doesn't matter though, it doesn't matter, because a second place will eventually turn into a first place. If I get comfortable doing it now in ranked, then by the time it actually matters and there's money on the line or qualification on the line, then I won't have the the nerves shaking throughout my body. I'll just be able to actually do it without thinking about it, have it be second nature, knowing when to take high ground, which again, on height right now, going for refreshes. I was kind of dumb there and took some fall damage, which really dumb. I thought it was going to break my fall there. I don't know why I just jumped straight through there. But again, contesting height right here. Falling to the bottom, confident using my sword. I believe I'm actually go for it again right here. Yeah, so somebody else is on high ground. I'm not just like taking it in the middle of nowhere. I'm actually like contesting people for height. Again, if I got the refresh here, would have been absolute money, but we kind of get knocked out. I actually do eventually kill him, but I don't think I get his mats, and now we're in a 1v1 situation, and this guy has invisibility and a sword. So yeah, another second place curse, but I went up about 15% there. So again, playing for these end games, one, of course, it gives you good practice, but then it gives you the percent you need to rank up. But I'm not afraid to fight. Like, I saw this guy was a little defenseless, shot him, and actually fought him before endgame. So that was about 14 people left when I killed him, and actually fought that. Now we're in like, real ranked endgames, a couple people left. And of course, there's always just gonna be one sword user that is just, going at you. And I can't even get mad because I used the sword a little bit earlier for some of my kills. But man, it's super annoying, and I don't even think this sword guy kills me. I think he just distracts me enough where I die. Yeah, where I die to someone else right there. So again, couldn't get the win there. Just another fourth place. Like, when is that one win gonna be? When's the #1 victory royale gonna be? I'm telling you guys, it's coming up pretty soon. But again, just going for shots. I'm not being scared. Like, I'm not scared to fight and shoot at these people. I know a lot of times when people say, oh, I'm playing for placement, oh, I'm playing for late game, they say that by camping in bushes and not doing a lot and just hiding, not trying to save their mats, save their mats for endgame. That's not what I'm doing when I say I'm playing for endgame. Just because I have 0 kills doesn't mean I'm not actively trying to go for kills, right? I'm always shooting people to maybe make them back off or to find an opportunity that I can key. And if they back off from you after you beam them, that means they're not pushing you. And if I get an opportunity to key them and hop in their box, then that's points. That's ranked points. This guy, bam, tries to contest height, and I'm getting them to back off. I'm getting them not on me. There's a fight at the bottom. I'm on high ground. I get the win. Like I said, it was coming. I finally controlled the lobby. I'm controlling the lobby from high ground, and I'm able to shoot down and get a super easy win. Like, I didn't change anything about my game plan or game strategy there. I was just able to do it from having high ground and beaming down. Some of the other games, it came down to a little bit more skill that I just simply didn't have. But some of them came down to some bullshit, invisibility, the sword, blah, blah, blah. So if you can put yourself into the right position, you can get a second, third, fourth every time. And eventually, if you get lucky or if you got enough skill, you're going to get those #1 victory royales. And that matters a lot once it comes to actual tournaments. So that's why this champion gameplay is so essential. Like, if you're playing Fortnite, in Diamond, Platinum, Elite, you're kind of just playing ranked. Like, you're not really getting the full experience of the game. You're just playing, it's almost like pubs, just a little bit more skilled pubs. But once you're in these ranked champion and unreal lobbies, there are real end games and real opportunities to actually get some practice in and be comfortable in tournament settings. Of course, it's a little less stressful since there's not 25 people in Storm Surge, but it's as close as you're going to get without a full scrim. And I actually kind of like ranked a little bit better because you can die in mid game. You can die in early game like I did right there. Of course, there's some bullshit like cars, as you see right here, but there's just better opportunities to practice because you can get a full early and mid game, whereas scrims is just the super packed end game. And honestly, in most solo situations, end games aren't as stacked as they're going to be in a duos or trios format. So you really only get those insane solo storm surge lobbies like once you're in the finals or the very last game of opens when everyone's trying to qualify. This game was super interesting because he was stuck on height, and then I got an absolute free win because he couldn't do anything. Like, once you're on height, you get the gliding effect, and you're either dead because I'm going to shoot you in the air, or you die to zone like he did. So at this point, I believe I have pretty high percentage in champion, but I'm not letting my foot get off the gas. I remember for a few games before this one, I was dying off spawn multiple times, and it was quite discouraging, but I still, just wanted to get it, improve my skill, keep my foot on the gas, continue to, hold left and right click, build, and, fight these people. So I have an Oni shotgun here, and I was able to kill that guy. And if any of you have been in my Discord or know anything about me, I despise the Oni shotgun. But as I've said before, and people in my Discord have reminded me, don't make excuses for why you died. Just realize what you did wrong and learn from that. So I was dying a lot with the Oni shotgun because it's a much different play style than the pump. And I'll be honest, I was complaining. I was like, geez, only if I had the pump, only if, I had more shots, I could be taking walls better, and just making excuses. And then, that's when I was reminded, hey, you got to learn how to play with different items. So I learned how to play with the Oni shotgun, how to prioritize my secondary, which is usually an AR or SMG, so I can reserve my Oni shot bullets more and just get more damage in different ways. So I started to get a lot better with the Oni shotgun, but of course I still do prefer the pump over it, and when I can get it, it's beautiful. Like in this scenario, when I have the gold pump, I was 1v1ing this gorilla, this King Kong, and I eventually killed him for the win. Unfortunately, Fortnite didn't track those stats of that win, so that was supposed to be my Unreal game. I 3 kills, it was a win. I only needed like 1 or 2 more percent, and I would have had it, but it didn't count it. So I thought it would have updated later, so I started just kind of trolling around and just W keying everything. And I actually lost a lot of percentage doing that, and it never updated. So I actually didn't hit Unreal there, so I had to re-lock in, which was quite annoying. So like I said, I thought I was going to do this in a week. I actually ended up doing it in 8 or 9 days because it ended up not updating from that game. So then I had to lock back in. But now I'm locked in, I'm fighting again. I'm trying to get kills, and I was a little bit annoyed, but everything happens for a reason. I got more practice, and honestly, it was kind of a little bit more satisfying because these final few games, it felt like a lot more was on the line because I was fighting an uphill battle. So yes, one of my strategies in the last couple games was to bush camp, and I actually got a kill from it, but I wasn't doing it for too long. As you can see, I immediately created a surge base, as they're called, but it was really, a lookout tower to really position myself in a good spot in the end game. This guy void mass near me, I got a big shot on him, and now I'm pushing, right? I'm not bush camping the whole game, right? I'm still getting active for a lot of it, but if there, if there's a part of the game, say zone 6, 7 or whatever, and you don't need to be in a giant tower, then a bush suffices. But as you can see right there, going into people's boxes and getting kills, getting refreshes last minute. If only I was paying attention to this guy that was right in front of me, who of course shot me and killed me. 4th place curse, but finally got Unreal. Let's go. So what was that, a 3 or 4 kill 4th place, and I finally got it Unreal. So of course that is probably what most of you are here for, but I do want to show you a few more kills of me actually playing in Unreal because I felt so much more free playing in the Unreal games. And for some reason, I think they moved me down in lobbies because now I'm playing against people in Diamond again. It's kind of weird. I think how Fortnite does it is if you're an Elite and Champion, they pair you with Elite, Champion, and Unreal. but if you're Unreal, they'll actually scatter you across all of the lobbies, right? And I think the reason they do this is because there's a lot of Smurf accounts and a lot of people who were like pros that are coming back into the game and might be in lower lobbies. So in case there are people in lower lobbies, they want to have a couple Unreal people scattered across those worser lobbies to like thin out the herd and actually confront those crazy people. That might just be an insane conspiracy theory, but I was noticing that I was killing a lot more people in like Diamond once I actually hit Unreal, which was very interesting. But because I was in Unreal, I felt a lot more confident to just W key again. Like I said, once I was in Champion, I was playing for endgames a lot more, but now that I'm in Unreal and I know that I can't drop, I'm of course going for a lot more aggressive plays again, which is nice because that is how a lot of tournament opens go. So, you know, you get a good variety of practice between Champion and Unreal for tournament gameplay, because like I said, Champion, you're doing those nice end games and you're really playing for the win, and in Unreal you can kind of just sweep through the lobby again, which is more similar to tournament opens, like Cash Cup opens, where you're trying to get those elimination points. So, you know, I'm just walking around the map, finding good loot, finding people. I get this guy white health and I'm pushing him. Unfortunately, I actually didn't kill him instantly. I actually had to build fight him here. But again, now I have no fear in this system. I can't drop, so I'm just pushing these guys' box. And look at another diamond. So if you guys know why that is, please tell me. I'd love to know. But let me make sure you're awake, because I hope you've written down some of the skill strategies and mindsets I've talked about, but I know it's a lot since it's a 40-minute video. But hey, this is my longest video ever, so please show some support if you like my transparency. A like goes the distance, invest if you want to see more content, and of course the way to monetarily help me is to use code reidtheninja in the item shop for more bangers. I know it's a long one, but if you're up for another, this is me breaking down the 600th place qualifier for the solo Cash Cup, and only 600 people qualify, so this is the guy that just snuck in. Or in other words, the most attainable spot for people like you and me to get. Thank you for watching, use code reidtheninja, and on that note, I am signing